Welcome to the session again. Now we are going to know about the internal surface of the mandible. In the mandible already you can able to see the two processes. One will be the condylar process and coronoid process. The upper part of the condylar process we used to call it the head. The lower constricted part we used to call it the neck. Below the neck the ramus. In the ramus you can able to see there will be a small depression nearer the neck that we used to call it the pterygoid fovea. It is very important feature. Then later to that below you can able to see a tongue-like projection, that is the lingula. It give attachment for the one of the ligament. Next, nearer the lingula, you can able to see the round foramen, that is the mandibular foramen, that leads to be a mandibular canal and exits via the outer surface that we used to call it the mental foramen. It gives passage for the inferior alveolar artery as well as. Then next you can able to see the internal surface. You can able to see a prominent ridge-like line that separate the line we used to call it the mylohyoid line that extend till the third molar obliquely, which divide the ramus into two compartments. The upper we used to call it the sublingual gland lices. The fossa we used to call it the sublingual fossa. Below there is a fossa we used to call it the submandibular fossa, which gives space for the submandibular salivary gland location. In the symphysis mantae, the posterior part, you can able to see a four ridges that we used to call it the genial tubercle. There are the two pairs, upper genial tubercle, inferior genial tubercle. Upper genial tubercle give origin for the muscle genioglossus. Then lower it give a muscle for the geniohyoid. All the muscles start with genio. The up you can able to see that genioglossus. The below hyoid bone that we used to call it the geniohyoid. The lower border of the mandible, the base, near to the base midline, you can able to see a oval shaped depression that we used to call it the digastric fossa, which give for the origin of digastric muscle anterior belly. You have to remember anterior belly of the digastric get origin from the digastric fossa that will be present the base of the mandible. The muscle attachment, the external, the oblique line, it gives attachment for the muscle buccinata. Next, the incisive fossa give origin to the mentalis muscle as well as the orbicularis oris. Next, mylohyoid line, the ridge that give origin to the muscle mylohyoid muscle. Next, the base of the mandible, the lower border that give the entire part give origin for the attachment for the deep cervical fascia as well as the platysma muscle. The lateral surface, the well-known muscle, that is the masseter muscle, get origin. The internal. Next, internally you can able to see there will be a muscle attachment for the medial pterygoid. The movement associated within the mandible are elevation, depression, protraction, retraction, side to side movement,